Yo, it's your boy JYD checking in live from the terrible drawing room. Thank you to everybody who's been on this journey with us during this YouTube journey and on our journey to 8K subscribers, man. So thank y'all so much for that. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all so much. To everyone who has hit that notification bell and who has hit that subscribe button, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. But today I'm gonna be talking about things that I've learned because I started boxing late. This is what I've learned from starting boxing late. One, just because you started late, that does not mean that you don't have a chance at being successful in boxing. And no one can determine or dictate what it is that you do in the sport outside of yourself. And no one can determine and dictate how far you go in this sport outside of yourself. Do I get a bunch of people? I get tons of people telling me every day, oh, you started late, you started 23, you too old, you ain't gonna do. I hear that every day. I hear that every single day. But the only request that I have for those people, I say it all the time, just please, I ignore it anyway, but now I'm going to address it here. Please make sure you say it in the comments, whether you say it in the comments of Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I don't care where you say it. Just make sure you say it in the comments so it can continue to feed the algorithm. Please and thank you. But if you want to say it in my DMs, guess what? That still also feeds my algorithm because it allows more people to DM me and all of those things. So just make sure you say it in the comments. Don't say it elsewhere. Say it in my comments specifically. Because you need to have tough skin if you're going to be starting this sport late. You need to have tough skin, period, starting the sport of boxing. But if you're going to be starting it late, you definitely need to have tough skin because there's going to be so many people that tell you that you can't do it because you started too late and, oh, this person been boxing since they were 8 and 9 years old and you're never going to be as good as them. And that's not true. We've had multiple world champions. We've had some of the greatest fighters of all time who have started the sport late. Understand that social media and that the internet is not a real place. It's not a real place, so you cannot worry about what people say to you or about you when they're saying it on an internet forum, because that doesn't really exist. Them same people who say that to you on forums are not going to say that to you in person. So you need to remember that. Also, with starting late boxing, you have to understand that you're going to have to sacrifice. And you're going to have to sacrifice so much. You're going to have to sacrifice almost everything, to be honest with you. Whether it's friendships, relationships, even some family ties, unfortunately, might be sacrificed. And it's not on purpose. It's not on purpose. It's just that you're going to be dedicating so much time to the gym and so much time to boxing, even outside of the gym, that is going to affect your personal relationships. You're not going to be able to hang out with your friends as much. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to go on as many dates with your significant other as much. You might not be able to hang with your family as much because you have a bigger goal in mind. With you starting late, you're going to have to dedicate an exuberant amount of time to the sport of boxing to close those gaps that you need to close. Also, just because no, pause right there. That doesn't just go for boxing. There are people, some of the greatest actors of all time have started late. Some of the greatest musicians of all time have started late. Some of the greatest artists of all time have started late. Doctors, lawyers, historians, etc. have started their career path late. That does not mean that you can't be successful at it because you started late. That just means you have to grind harder to close that gap. That is all that means. So don't let nobody tell you that because you started late that it can't be done. It can be done, and we've seen it done in history time and time again. Also, just because someone started early or they've been boxing their whole life does not guarantee that they're going to be a world champion or even a great professional fighter at that. We've seen countless fighters, and I'm not here to point anybody out or kick anybody or anything like that or down talk people, no. But if you don't know, sorry I'm a little stuffy, the weather is changing and allergies are just murderous out here. Figure of speech YouTube. There's been countless boxers who have been boxing their whole life and it just did not pan out well in the pros. Like I said, I'm not here to talk down on anybody, so I'm not going to put out any specific names, but there have been countless pros who have started early and Didn't work that way in the pros. Also, when you start late, you have less of a chance of burnout than boxers who've been boxing their whole life. When you've been boxing your whole life since you were 7, 8, 9 years old, chances are you will go through burnout, because people don't realize and understand how mentally and emotionally, and yes, also physically, but mentally and emotionally taxing boxing is for an individual, especially when you've been doing it for your literal entire life. That means since you were a kid, you basically had no friends because all of your time was dedicated to the gym. You have no friends, you had no social life, you had no freedom of anything. You just was living in the gym nonstop. And then you're 20 something years old and you're ready to turn pro, or you on the verge of turning pro, and you just like, dog, like, I'm burnt out with this, I'm tired of doing camps, I'm tired of cutting weight, I'm tired of doing this, I'm tired of doing that. I don't have no friends. I never really had a girlfriend. I never had anything because like my dad or uncle or grandpa wouldn't let me do any of those things because they just forced me to live in the gym all the time. And it's like, like, I want to experience some form of life outside of this. Which they have every right to feel that way, because I don't know what that feels like to do this my whole entire life. I really don't. I did this because my heart was into it. My dad was telling me since I was like 17, 18 years old, you need to start boxing, you always fight anyway, and blah, blah. I'm like, man, I don't do nothing in my heart, not into it. And at that time, my heart wasn't into boxing. I'm not going to talk about what it was into, but it was into some stuff that's not a good joint. I was doing foolish street stuff. So it wasn't up until my daughter had open heart surgery that changed my whole point of view on things. When she was 3 months old, she had open heart surgery, and that's when I was like, yeah, things gotta change. And yeah, if you've been boxing your whole life, you get to that point, and sometimes you just get burnt out, and you're like, I just don't want to do it no more. Or I'm gonna just take off a year or two, dog, and I'm gonna come back to it. But then when you come back to it, if they even do come back to it, the guy who they used to be cooking in the gym, they're not cooking them no more. That guy's actually starting to get over on them, because while you were out for that year or two, this guy has been working nonstop. He has been working non-stop, closing that gap, making it happen, and putting it together. Where now you're playing catch up, because nothing in life, nothing in history stays the same. The phrase "use it or you lose it" is true. Nothing in history stays the same, whether it's a relationship, love, a building, a structure, language, relationships. I don't care what it is. Anything in history, your shoes, your clothes, the food you eat, I don't care what it is. Nothing in history has ever remained the same. Even if you plateau, you can be plateaued for about 2 years. Eventually it's going to start to decline. Once you've reached your peak and there's no higher to go, eventually you're going to decline, because no one can stay at their peak forever. So eventually you begin to decline. Nothing in history stays the same. And you have to know that. You have to understand that. So when they take a year or two off, they come back and they're not the same. It's not the same. And then another thing is, sometimes people's dad and grandpa and uncle, and they be vicariously trying to live through a kid, so they force this kid into the gym to try to be everything that they want. So now the kid is just like, I don't even really want to do this. I'm only doing this because you've been forcing me to do it this whole time. But now that I'm grown, I can make my own decisions. I don't have to do this, and I'm not doing it no more. And then they just completely just peel off from boxing. Whereas though I started this, like I said, late, and my heart was into it. It was something that I want to do, and that I want to do, and I still want to do, and I still love every second of every day doing. I love to do this. So I go into this happy as hell. Every day in the gym is a good day in the gym. Every day training is a good day training. Every day on the track and field is a good day on the track and field. I'm at conditioning. Every day is conditioning is a good day. Yes, it's brutal. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's work. But who cares? Who cares? I don't care about that. I care about getting the work done. And a lot of people don't understand, when we starting late, I have that advantage, whereas though I'm not burnt out. I haven't been put through the ringer of the game and the business side of it. I haven't been through any of those things my whole life. I haven't done those things. I'm just here and I'm having fun and I love it. But again, nobody can dictate and determine how far your career goes. And again, man, it's not that, and yes, you will change. The better you get with boxing, and that's what anything when you're chasing your dream. People go, oh, you change, yes, and you better change. But the core of you doesn't change. It's just your time and things that you do and opportunities they begin to change. So when you become more successful at it, no, you can't just be hanging on the block. No, you can't be doing this and doing that. No, you haven't changed in the core of who you are as an individual, but the time that you have begins to change. The things that you do begin to change because you become more of a brand, more of an entity, and you're like, yo, like I have to take care of myself. I have to take care of my investment. You are an investment, and you have to take care of yourself as such. And it's not that, oh, I'm better, so like, no, it's just like I want better, so I have to move in a different way. I'm still the same person, but I have different business opportunities. I have different growth and all of those things that come with becoming better in the sport of boxing. And mentally, I hate when people say life ain't fair. Life is fair because it's unfair with everybody. And you need to be mentally tough to be in this game. So please, if you are not mentally tough, this is not the game for you. Boxing is not the sport. It's not the game for you if you're not mentally tough. I know this generation, they are like super big on mental health. Yes, mental health is important. But that's not how I grew up. That personally, that's not how I grew up. I came up in a generation where, listen, it is what it is. All of the ADHD and this and that, and it ain't nothing that a nice belt can't fix. And it fixed it. I ain't saying it's right. I ain't saying it's wrong. What I am saying is, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I just, you kids get school canceled because it's raining outside. We didn't have that. We went to school in blizzards. It was hot outside and there wasn't no air conditioners inside of the daggone classroom. You know what the teacher said? Sit still and stop talking so much. The reason why I was hot in here is because you talking and your breath is hot. Stop talking and get your work done. Boom. If it was cold in classrooms, it wasn't no heat in there, you put your jacket on. You keep your jacket on during class, and then guess what? You still got to walk back home. You still got to catch the bus back home. It was what it was. We grew up a little bit tougher in my generation. I'm not a part of this newer generation. We grew up tougher in my generation. So, people are online and, they let the internet dictate how they feel and how they live and all the things. And I don't do that. The internet is not a real place. The internet's not a real place. I'm not a person who talks and spew hate speech, but all that being canceled and stuff, that stuff is good for the internet. That doesn't affect you in real life. Trust me, that's not how this works. That is not how this works. People talk so crazy about you on the internet. They get in your comments and all that stuff, and they talk hella crazy about you on the internet. But they will not see you in real life and say those things to your face because the internet is not a real place. So please, don't let the internet and these internet people who haven't done anything with their lives tell you, oh, you too late to start boxing. You too late. No, you're not, bro. As long as you are healthy enough to do so and you are in good shape and you take the sport seriously, you are not too old to start boxing at all and do it. And let the internet trolls continue to troll and talk and whatever it is that they do because it doesn't exist in real life. But yeah, that's just some of the stuff that I learned with starting boxing late. Of course, there's tons and tons more, but hey, who knows? We might make another part of that, so why not? Who cares? But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody who take their time out to listen and to just be here on this journey of YouTube and stuff, man. I really, truly, genuinely do appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much, man. All of about a month or two ago, we were only at like 3,000 subs, and now we're almost to 8,000. So thank y'all so much, man. I really love y'all and appreciate y'all. So it's your boy Joe ID checking out live from the Terrible Drawing Room. Until next time, beautiful John, stay in the gym. I love y'all. Peace.